What's up, guys? Wobbly Rick here, coming to you live to give you the future Wobblecast. Opening your eyes to the near future for anything. I know last night I promised that I'd get on with some Wobbly Life, but I ended up falling asleep instead, as my body really needed it. So we're beginning it fresh today, brand new, fresh, to start out with some War Thunder, and gradually work our way to Wobbly Life. And tonight we'll probably end off with some Fallout 76, but we're going to gradually work our way to Wobbly Life. Should be going to like maybe 12 or 1:30-ish in the afternoon. And this will be US Central Standard Time, or GMT, I think would be the peripheral prefix. Let's get the show on the roll. Start out some War Thunder and move our way up. Well, looks like my first viewer had officially left. I guess I'm not interesting enough. Maybe I should try a bit harder. I guess I'm not interesting enough. There was some high pings. Oh no. Look at that. That was a very close shot. Very close shave too. Should probably reduce the internet consumption. A suspicious package has arrived on your door. War Thunder forever. War Thunder 2042. Clink. Switching to high explosive. Manhandle around. You ain't got enough peel on that nanner. Ah, they killed my target. Oh well. Reloading. Oh, I see I've done a little bit of work on this hill to raise it up a bit to cover the KV-2, because originally tanks like this couldn't hide behind cover without being one-shotted on the other side of the map. Usually straight from their spawn, you can technically snipe from way over there. Oh, looks like he's angry enough to come straight for me. Thank you, Building. You saved my life. How could I ever repay you? Perhaps by laying down some new bricks.
Attack the enemy.
With my cousin, the AMX CVT AML L40. Roger that, little doggy. Hold on to your explosives. Hold it right there. You want to snipe someone, eh? Well, I got your snipe right there. Fire! Why, yes, of course. We will destroy the target. The KV-2 is designed for it. So I hope whoever's watching my stream sure is enjoying it. Because I can never really tell the whole accountability process involving YouTube's recent algorithm. That round went straight through me, didn't it? Oh well. Beggars can't be choosers. See what my title says. Yeah, it's correct. Today's morning stream will consist of War Thunder until like maybe 1:30, or it might go on to like maybe 5. It's like this guy somehow just going straight through me. Maybe it's the null and void zone.
Attention to the map.
Roger that. Roger Dodger. Fire in the hole. Die. Well, I guess that didn't work out too well. T-80B. T-80B definitely dropped his guard, but he's still going to stay there. This game might completely flip a full 360. Gotta keep firing these high explosive rounds. Time to switch position. Got a lot of ATGMs coming over the ridge. Goodbye. No more sniping for you. Yeah, that's the one thing I hate, is when people literally want a freaking base camp. Like, I got people on the other side of the map still sitting in their spawn firing missiles and killing people on this side of the map. It's getting kind of annoying. I'm gonna make sure I keep this on tight ramps if I want to make sure that we don't get taken over. this loser comes right up this hill, I'm going to have to annihilate him with this fat heat round. Looks like I won't have to. Game's over. Overall, I kept my team alive because if we had lost any more people, believe me, this would have been a one-sided show and it would have just drenched all the points from our side. It would have been over. Really gotta grind them silver lanes. Want to be able to afford the next tank or next airplane or next anything in this game, I really gotta grind those points down into dust. So them silver lines, their main currency, and then premium currency, them GE Golden Eagles. Every year we host a huge fat contest and give people 5,000 Golden Eagles for first prize. We don't feel like giving them $165 worth of equipment, which is 25,000 Golden Eagles, but we'll give them 5. I remember when I was younger, I used to sit outside of stores telling people to go fuck themselves. What a great time. Then again, that's what happens when a store steals from you. You pay for something and then they steal it back. Bad people. And that was last month. A Walmart employee accused me of stealing some food I had paid for inside the store, and then took my food and threw it in the trash after accusing me of stealing it. That was like $10 in freaking lunch. Down the drain. So I stood outside of the Walmart telling people to go fuck themselves for 6.5 hours. I even went home before I even did any of that. I went home, changed into an outfit that made me look like an employee, put on a dumbass vest, took off anything that would incriminate me any further, and stood outside telling people to go fuck themselves. And then when a manager asked me why I did that, I told him because one of your employees accused me of stealing food and then threw my lunch in the trash. So then I proceeded to go ahead and do that. I even took a picture of the employee's ID and face. I had a receipt and everything, but they didn't want to take it. That goes to show that bigotry still exists. I gotta defend the gefilte fish. Gefilte fish. I got a nice capture bullet right here as I wait for them to come running through like dummies. Go on, I'm waiting. Well, I'm waiting.
Attention to the map. The enemy is winning. Take him down.
Plus. Base rape is going on now, so I'm bailing. I'm not gonna sit there and have all my silver linings get thrown down the toilet like that. No way. That'd be a waste of money. The fact that base rape is going on, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna throw away my silver lions. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Sorry, well, how things are playing out nowadays, I wouldn't waste my time with that BS. Alright, let's go place in Japan. Kinda wish I had some sake. It's kinda good. I need to unravel my headset. It seems to be a little tangled. Hello, anxiety. It says anxiety nonstop. Hello. Alright. Decided to go place in Japan. What? It's 104.5, 114. So you got the Navy bombs, and then you got the standard bomb. Then you got the just straight up platter. So this takes away 3.6. What does this take away? 2.2? How about the Navy bomb? 2.2? Okay. H6K only has like two sad little bomb designs. The H8K or whatever they want to call it. Let's go, little Japanese plane. So how are you doing? Anxiety nonstop? Wow, those two little bombs that are on there look kind of like a cartoon bomb. I'm doing pretty good. Not much going on today. I was supposed to do a little bit of wobbly life last night, but I ended up falling asleep because I was extraordinarily tired. Life's been a little draining lately, and so has the internet. But it's all good. I feel a lot better today. I think that event that they were having going on is finally over. Thankfully, it is over.
Take him down!
I wish this airplane would go a little faster. But, I mean, for a plane this size, going 200 miles an hour is pretty satisfying. So how was your overall day? Or did it just begin?
Somebody attack him!
Yeah, I think most of the War Thunder events that had to do with the new airplanes, boats, and tanks, I completely skipped the entirety of the event. The last time I participated in a War Thunder event for... what was it called? Oh, that's good. Your day just began. So did mine. The last time I participated in a War Thunder event was for the MiG-21 PFM. That was the very last time I ever participated in any event associated with War Thunder. The amount of pain, the lack of sleep, more like the broken amount of sleep I had, it was just terrible. Like, you had to stay awake if you were a non-premium member, and you were awake for hours on end, to no avail with any sleep at all. but it's good your day just began. It's like 9:35 a.m.
Somebody attack him.
currently in U.S. Standard Time. Standard or Central? Yeah, nice try. If I wanted a sweaty person to come play this game with me, I would have played Call of Duty. Now this guy wants to play a game of chicken, so I'm gonna play some chicken with him. Come on, Gunner, he's right in your sight. Jeez. Gonna get that stall going. Then it's gonna pump up the speed and do the unthinkable. Looks like my plane's a little stuck. That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually surprised the plane was actually able to keep up with that turning radius he had, because normally this thing does not do well with turns. In fact, most bombers can barely keep up with the turn radius of a regular plane. So transition is never really smooth. This plane does look a bit different from the other one. It still has a tail gunner, and I hope that's a 20 mil. It's not bad for a seaplane. It actually was quite a smooth move, but it wasn't quite enough to keep myself from being blown out of the air. You know, to think that it's still sweaty even though the event is already over. I'm glad I let this event slide by without any attention from me. I have a relative who plays airplanes on consoles, but he gave up. He still plays with the helicopters though. He just doesn't do airplanes on console no more. That's the one thing I'm beginning to hate about this game right now. At least the helicopter isn't bad on console. Here on the computer, it's actually cancerous. There's no way to enjoy anything with helicopters on PC. Like, I've tried to enjoy helicopters on PC. If you're using like low tier Russia, you're not going to be able to grind that helicopter. You'd literally die 200 times in that helicopter before you got your first attachment. So, you know, it's kind of a heads up. The amount of times you would die till you get your first attachment in Russia would probably be about 200 times. And I'm not even that bad with that helicopter either. It's just that it moves so slow.
Engaging the enemy.
Well, you're wondering about the P-36. I think it carries about 1,500 rounds. 7.7 or 7.62, and it carries about, I think, 8 or 900 rounds of 12.7 ammunition. It's not a bad plane, however, in such case, I don't really like it because I can't really grind any parts for any of the planes. People are still acting like the event is still active.
Commencing attack.
So I don't really ever get to like do anything in the game.
Cover me.
There's actually one thing I did notice. Once I start going over 200 miles an hour, this plane doesn't turn too well. So as long as it maintains its speed around 100, 150, the plane has a decent radius of response. So it's not that bad. Just had to maintain under 200 miles an hour. Like just dropping them right on target.
Thank you very much.
I guess I can use Germany. I don't have any airplanes though. Oops. Looks like I took some damage from that one. I didn't think the bomb would cause damage, but it actually did. I actually took some damage from that bomb. The hard part is going to be landing this plane back at the airfield to perform vehicle repairs.
Returning to the base.
But sure, I'll play Germany. There's no guarantee that I'll win or get any kills. I've been doing pretty poorly with Germany recently. However, Germany did used to be my top tier tank killer whenever I was around 5.0. I used to get like maybe 11 kills a game. But that was mostly because I was taking a Panther D for a wild run.
Excellent. Excuse me.
Okay. Looks like I survived. So I barely made it. The waffle triangle. I call it the waffle triangle because it's kind of like a triangle with a gun. And then it's got like a pita flatbread on the underside of it. It's not bad. However, because it's relatively thin armor, someone can technically just run you over and then the plane breaks. Not, what's it called? They can technically just run over your, you know, tank and kill you. So, yeah, that's kind of why I don't, like, I want to get the waffle triangle, but at the same time, I don't want to grab it, because if it was anything like that experience I had with the BT-7 and being rammed into the wall by a B-1 Tur, yeah, it's gonna be like getting run over. it's going to have enough weight to crush your tank and kill your crew. I'm right here at 6.3. I'm working my way up from the stern and mill, I think. Or am I grinding for the Panther G now? Still got to get this, and the German version of the M41 Walker Bulldog is the only one with heat. However, the 88 Pak 43 gun has a decent heat, 279 APCR, and a 237, where the Lake PZ M41, also known as the Walker Bulldog, only has 206 APCR, APDS or 123, and a 254 heat. And beyond that is this little tank, the Marauder A1. This is an infantry fighting vehicle. It's not exactly used for anti-tank work, it's used for anti-personnel work. From what I remember, when Germany had a bit of a conflict within its own country, they deployed the Marauder A1s into small towns to control what was going on. Because of all of the civil unrest or something that was going on. And only a couple of times the Marauder A1 has ever fired at anyone during the minor conflict they were experiencing. But if you're trying to get up to the Bagel Panzer, because that's what I call it, the Bagel, it's got a decent fire rate, but a fire rate of 0.3 seconds firing a 57 by 483 millimeter round. It's got 126, 95, and it's got high explosive variable time fused rounds and standard high explosive. It's also got the TOW missile, which isn't that bad. Then it has its revision, the ITOW missile, so it's not bad. This one isn't bad because of high fire rate. This tank has a 6-second reload, which isn't even that bad. It's the BMP-1. When it receives its upgrade package, the BMP-1P model, you get this missile. So it's like a standardized rocket launcher at that point. Then you have the TAM. The main vulnerabilities of the TAM that you should keep in mind, although the TAM is hard to kill, you should also keep in mind that a well-placed high explosive round will knock out your crew. So HE is not your best friend when it comes to the TAM. The Rad Kampfwagen 90, HE is not your best friend. The TAM 2C, it'll take like maybe 2 or 3 high explosive shell rounds to take you out inside that vehicle, so you get a bit of a chance. Alright, let's begin the rollout with Germany. With the Waffeltranger, well, the stock grind is going to be a bit rough, so you're going to be in for a bit of a long haul if you're trying to stock grind the Waffeltranger. It's going to be a bit of a long haul, but if you play like a tank destroyer and hide, you'll be doing pretty good. Still got to get stuff with the Dicker Max. It's got 187, this isn't even that bad. Alright, get the Dicker Max out of the way. Still gotta grind this one, just in general, for parts. This guy's got a Panther D. I actually like the Panther D because it had high survivability when it has low ammo. Okay. As of recent, I've been using the Dicker Max in realistic battles. I wonder, was this arcade or realistic? Can't remember. Okay, it's arcade. In realistic battles, I'd be camping out right about now. And slowly making my move. Try to see if I can get someone from up here. For an 88mm, that's a lot of metal and a large hole. was a kill assist, which is better than no kill at all. Okay, that Panther was manhandled. The one on the hill was not manhandled yet. Now it was manhandled. Okay, I think that ends the portion right here for trying to snipe on this side of the map. I should probably get to hiding.
Attention to the map!
I gotta turn around, I gotta go snipe the other side of the map. When you finally get up there to the Marauder A1, you might actually have some fun. It's a very good SPAA, so it's very good in general for anti-aircraft purposes, and the accuracy is rather stunning. So it's going to be quite on, on par with its shots. I wish those guys would hurry up and go to the right side of the flank and defend it. It doesn't look like they're going to, so I'm going to have to intervene. That was like somebody spawn camping, so the game's going to be over really fast.
Victory is near.
It's also kind of one reason why I usually don't play Germany too often. I don't know why, but spawn camping seems to be a thing whenever I see the German. Whenever I pick Germany, there seems to be a lot of spawn camping. Like right now, this little cluster you see right here is probably like 3 or 4 people just bunched up into one blob or something. Nine times out of 10, whoever is doing the bombing over there is likely going to go straight for the cluster of people on that side. I should probably turn around before I receive machine gun fire. Oh, cool. They left me alone. Hopefully.
Attention to the map.
Cool, they did. Normally being inside of this tank actually is like an instant death sentence. It's like no room to breathe. I'm surprised at how heavy this thing is. It's actually climbing up the hill, because most tank destroyers I have do not climb this hill too well. They kind of stall out and roll backwards.
Allied forces have captured a zone. Allied forces have captured a zone. Just keep it up, and victory will be
I'm
ours.
actually rather satisfied that nobody actually tried to bomb me yet inside of this thing. But it was definitely, oh look, a Waffenträger. Okay. The first time in any game, this vehicle wasn't the first one to get blown up. Normally when I use this tank, I get blown up quite often. Yeah, someone's spawn camping, so there's like nobody gonna come out. It's gonna pretty much say the hostile team left in just a moment. Well, whoever was camping over there in the enemy spawn, they kind of got what they deserved. like spawn camping. Gonna go airplane. This is a TA-154. It's a very lightweight German plane. And it's definitely armed to the teeth. I can see that, to sit back and relax and wait for the kills to roll in. But because the Dicker Max is a tank destroyer, I kind of treat it like a traditional tank destroyer. Get pretty close into combat. It can technically peek over some structures, so it is useful because you can technically peek over some rocks. However, the angle of elevation and its ability to steer the main gun is, I believe, a narrow visionary sight of only 15 degrees left and right, which isn't quite a large wide spread if you're in close. Like if you're in a close quarters combat situation, this tank might not work out too well. Unless you are pulling like drifts around the corner or something like that. Or you know what you're doing with it to begin with. I personally don't know what I'm doing with this tank. But, you know, I've got so far up to this point. The American T-34, with reduced ammo, it can take a severe beating. So, it's actually not bad, the T-34. If you take a reduced ammo capacity, you can definitely take a severe beating. You still have the crew to fire the main gun. I've also learned as of recently that War Thunder itself is kind of unstable, the gaming platform at the moment. Sometimes enemies don't render in, and I decided to run a check on my graphics card. My graphics card is completely fine, and so is the PCB, the CPU, and packet handling procedures. However, it is the game itself. It seems that War Thunder has a few bugs. Sometimes enemies are invisible. Living ones are invisible, meaning they're not rendered in until after you die.
Awesome! Well done! Attack the A point.
I still play the game, even though it's still kind of broken.
Attack the enemy.
But I enjoy it. Wow, look at that. I fired the gun and it didn't do anything to him. And I was this close.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Well done. Repairing.
Hopefully I repair in time. That Panther A is going to need it. Because here comes another person.
The enemy is winning. Negative.
Come on, let's go Germany.
Attack him.
Let's go. Let's show this why they call it the Sternum Mill.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Allied forces have captured a zone.
Somebody
That reminds me,
has
I can't wait to see some teams in the next World Cup, should it actually take place. As of recent, I haven't really seen any soccer sporting events. They call it soccer, but it's called football. because it's actually the original football. Can't wait to see it though. Just gotta wait for the next World Cup.
Attention to the designated grid square.
Okay, I handled the little guy. Now, it's time for the Sterna Mill to make its way back into the town.
Attack the enemy!
Thank you very much.
Looks like the artillery is being focused heavily on Alpha. I gotta make a left side sweep of the left side area. I guess anxiety non-stop decide to leave. Well, whatever it is you're doing, I hope you enjoy it. Wow, that person must have really hated the fact that they got killed by this thing in order to go that far.
I'm sorry.
Attention to the map.
Somebody attack him!
Well, looks like I used the Ostwind. Used to be my favorite vehicle for just straight up shooting at targets, but as of recent, the Ostwind hasn't really been much of a favorite because of how much it costs me in cash. Mostly in repair costs. It's rather atrocious.
Defend the A point!
Air, please.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, game. Do you really have to do it this way?
Enemy forces have captured the zone.
I don't think this plane is structurally sound.
A little more effort, and victory will be ours. Attack the enemy!
Yeah, that plane was definitely not structurally sound. What kind of plane's wings flop?
Take him down! It serves him right.
That was terrible. I don't ever want to fly a plane like that in my life. Ha! Victory!
Roger that!
Okay, little 37mm. Let's roll out. I wonder if my view count will ever increase.
I agree. I agree.
If I park right here, nobody's gonna think too much about me.
Roger that.
Really?
Attacking!
The Italian version of the BF-1.
Excellent.
It's just the Italian Focke-Wulf 190.
Attention to the map.
341, eh?
Just keep it up, and victory will be ours. Allied forces have captured the zone.
Wow, that was a terrible airplane. What's up,
Sorry.
everybody? Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm gonna really beat this game, Because considering how much this tank costs, whatever I made this game, it's probably going to go down the toilet. Believe me, this thing throws away like 10 grand for the amount of firepower it actually holds. Not to mention it's very inaccurate for a 37mm. Sometimes I have to overlead. Particularly with this vehicle only, the Ostwind, I always have to overlead on my targets. Overlead or underlead, meaning from the lead indicator I always have to under or over or aim slightly above, because apparently the aiming parameters on that tank are a bit broken. Why I turned down Germany. I guess it's because the Ostwind was bleeding my wallet dry. And then the Ostwind 2 is doing me no favors either. That thing is hot garbage. No offense to anyone who actually likes the Ostwind 2, but that thing is actually hot garbage to me. Look at that atrocious price. $15,000 for death. Right after you die with full upgrades, it's probably going to be $21,000. That's like driving this thing with its upgrades. But with this thing, you get better armor. So these two tanks, the Ostwind 2, I'd throw those vehicles away before I ever use them. And then the Cudgel Blitz, because that's what I call it, the Kugel Blitz, I would never, ever in my life, ever want to use this vehicle. It's $18,000 right out the door. It's like driving the T95 in America. Each death is going to cost you just about $20,000. And then the price decides to drop when it comes to the 8.0 Gepard, which is actually nice. It's only $6,620, but after all of its upgrades, it's probably $8,000 per death. Then it goes a little cheaper with the Flak Rack, also known as the Roland 2, and then the Flüberwacketin system. Roland Auf. That's literally what it is. And that is a mouthful. Like, that is a long way of describing something. Just say mobile anti-air. Not the word a dog would say. Which would probably be ARF. So it's called the Mobile Puppy Missile Carrier. The Mobile Puppy Missile Carrier. It fires heat-seeking puppies. The Roland 2, quite possibly the most dangerous missile ever designed by Germany. It works just like the dogs they use, and preferably in their country, the German Shepherd. This dog is mounted directly to the missile and fired straight out of a pod, and it will chase its target relentlessly until it finally achieves its goal, destroying its target. Let's watch carefully as the German Shepherd Roland 2 is used. Why would somebody be in an M24? Why would they be driving the M18? This is 6.3 for hamster's sake. You know, after I'm done maxing out the Ostwind 1, I'm going to go ahead and throw that vehicle away and go back to using the other anti-aircraft. It's a lot better. At least a Whirlwind doesn't cost me a fortune.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
I don't know what Captain Explosion is, but okay.
Attention to the map.
If it means box of cookies, then okay. That reminds me, I don't eat very many candies either. More or less, I'm a bit sort of angry, considering that the lady that made the cherry limeade last night didn't even use lemonade. She just poured water in a cup with cherry extract and a lime. If it was real cherry limeade, it would have tasted a lot better than that. So she sloppily put it together. I hope they fire her, and maybe cut off her legs too.
Destroy the target.
Alright, well that ends the game for all of Germany. Sorry, Germany. I don't think I have time for any of that stuff. Goodbye, Germany. Let's go back to the USSR. Hello, KB2 Mayhem. The KV-2, a reliable resource tank that could be used in the USSR's generalized tree. As the Iron Curtain begins to make its return in 2022, the Iron Curtain will remain supreme. Meaning, it still kind of exists. Although people say the Soviet Union is over, it actually kinda isn't. An ironic sense of a twist, it looks like it just gained its new ally. Just recently, in Iraq. Also, I also seen the news, but I don't think that the American people that are down there in Iraq are very well aware, but the Taliban is not going to kill them. However, they are going to throw them out, put them pretty much up shit's creek without a paddle, or a lick of food. And the United States isn't negotiating with the Taliban to work with them. The Taliban's actually yanking these people out of their homes and throwing them to the other side. They're not going to waste their time putting a bullet in each American citizen's head because it'd be a waste of ammunition. So right now, they're just pretty much throwing the Americans out of their country. I don't know what people were doing there, if they were living in the country, being American, living in Iraq, thinking they're gonna die over there, but I have no idea what this country feels inside of its citizens' heads, but people don't shoot first and ask questions later in that country. Not a lot of people know that, but, you know, a lot of things are unprecedented as well. There's not a lot of evidence of everything, and every country likes to paint a vague image of another country's ordeals. I have a friend who's currently living there. And that person, he's American. They asked him if he would leave, and he told them kindly and politely that he's not leaving because he's married to a woman here. And he's been very happy. They didn't kill him, but he still lives there. Due to recent changes, I haven't seen him die, and his wife and children are living happily there. However, these weird phone calls and information that I'm hearing about people screaming and crying thinking the Taliban is going to kill them, yeah, I don't know what kind of thing they're trying to play at or what the news is trying to put out, but that's clearly fake news to me. Never in my life am I ever going to believe anything the news tells me, because it's fake news, period. It's all fake news. There's nobody screaming and crying that the Taliban's gonna kill them.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
But I can assure you, there is nobody screaming and crying the Taliban's gonna kill them. Anybody who's been living in that country and thinks that they're gonna die the whole time they're staying there, they got some racial bystander issues to go and get rid of. Why would you work in a country if you thought the people there were going to kill you? Even the citizens. Supposedly the person that was in the phone call that was played earlier on the news indicates that they're scared of the citizens as well. If you thought the people were going to kill you there, then why'd you go to the country to go work there? Why work in a place where you think everybody's out to kill you? There's something wrong with you. Or you're just a complete racist and you don't want to admit it. There we go. Took a nice big fat shite on him. And I live in America, and I've been to Iraq. And the only reason I've been to Iraq was because I had a nice enough boyfriend who took me there. I don't have a boyfriend now. In fact, I haven't had a boyfriend in years. Now I just chase the ladies. Because, you know, in the end, you really got to think about what you want. Do you want to have no kids, or do you want kids? And in the end, I decided I wanted kids. And adoption wasn't really an option for me. I want them to come from me, as it has more meaning. When your kids come from you, or you make them with a woman, those children have more meaning to you. However, adopting is rather a different subpar substandard. In order for a child to have meaning to you in life, you had to have at least adopted them beforehand. Meaning you had to at least have adopted them from their baby state in order to have that parental connection with them. If you adopt a teenager from a foster home, you're not going to have much of a parental connection to them. It's going to be halfway and somewhat subpar, and the connection is going to be rather disconnected rather than connected. So that's the sad part about it. Come on, dude. Really, ZTZ? I'm sitting here, you freaking noob. Man, I try to save everyone else's life with this thing. Man, it's gonna be very hard to save their lives now. The KV-2 only comes equipped with like 40 rounds. I have to save all their lives. Because tank lives matter. Привет. Don't worry. Joseph Stalin to the rescue. If I do this right, I should be able to have him in my sight. It's okay, T-Rums. Only Stalin can help you now. Back off, T-Rums. I'm warning you. I told you to back off.
Hello, Conrad. I should probably change the firing sound effect for the KV-2's main gun and replace it with a fart. So that way every time I fire it, it sounds like a huge fart. I'm driving my sexy KV-2. I got the money too. Boom, 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 boom. I'm getting better with the KV-2 at top tier. Look at that, fat 27,000, and the initial real value I made is 7,391. That's more than what I would have made trying to use the tanks for the correct BR. I use the KV-2 at high top tier because I want to grind that XP for the KV-2 so I can have an ace squad. Because when the KV-2 is at its own BR, I am not making a lot of XP to get that ace progress for it. Definitely not achieving it, I can assure you that one. So if I look under qualifications, right now I got the expert and I'm trying to get ace. If I play the KV-2 at its BR, I won't even get 50 XP for this thing. Because playing at its BR, the KV-2 gets annihilated. Versus playing at top tier, where it actually has a better chance. It's gonna launch another game.
Excuse me!
Looks like I have to play the game the way it is now. My ice cream is going to melt. Well, I better drive this thing down the hill.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
They bought merch before from other YouTubers because that's what I do on the part-time. I watch other YouTubers. I like watching At the Captain Sauce and Gray Still Plays, but I haven't seen very much Gray Still Plays merch that intrigued me or had my attention.
Destroy the target.
That's rollout boards. How However, for anyone who's wondering, there are things about Greysteel Plays' channel that I do miss, and it's content-related things. There's YouTubers that have played certain types of contents and games and stuff like that, but, you know, when you either A, outgrow something, or B, stop playing something, you kind of lose a bit of your database, because they're strictly dedicated on certain functions. Or more specifically, they're dedicated to a certain game type. Ooh, whoever thought that would work out in their favor was terribly mistaken. Because that missile was garbage. Okay, well, I'm going to enjoy me a delicious piece of pineapple. And this weird pineapple ice cream actually has pineapple pieces in it. Pineapple.
Attack the enemy.
Why nobody's watching right now? I don't know why. How did I survive that? That was just unfair to that vehicle. Look at that, 4 shots from 4 different vehicles. It took 4 people to get one thing done. Max, I should keep backing up down the hill. That was just dumb. It took 4 people to get that. I'm gonna say it how it is, they suck.
Attention to the map.
This organic ice cream has real pineapple chunks, and I sure do love it.
Attention to the map.
They'll never catch me alive.
Somebody attack him.
Note to self, bleach the sink as they're washing the baby who constantly has diarrhea inside of it. That way the dishes don't catch STDs. Just because a baby seems clean doesn't necessarily mean they are. look at that. Just pew. Target sighted. Boop, boop, boop.
Take him down! Reloading.
We got 27 seconds to the next round. Aw. I was kind of hoping you still would have been alive. Didn't they? Moving up to Alpha. Let's roll. Looks like Bill Daughtry is over there again. I have a little surprise for certain somebody later today. I hope she'll love it. Thanks, guys. It really was helpful. You guys were hiding behind a hill. You couldn't, I don't know, dish out the pain? No, I guess not. I guess that's too much to ask for. No, you could have spectator mode. My team didn't want to come help out, so I'm gonna let them fall. This ice cream is good. Pineapple ice cream. That's interesting. The BMP-2M can still fire, even though it's on the move. Because it tells me to stop moving, yet it can fire and still be moving. Interesting, because it always tells me to stop moving whenever I use it. Reloading the Magnum. Okay. Thanks a lot, T-72. I didn't get to angle this tank enough in order to get what I needed done. Well, you're sad T-Rum's vehicle just screwed me out of getting that. Still behind you, recovering. Alright, I give up. Well, it's already 10:38. It's probably been about an hour and a half. Yeah, it's been just under an hour and a half. After these crap games that I've been going through, I'm good. Goodbye, War Thunder. The stream will begin up anew in just a few minutes with a different game. I would play GTA 5, but too many people troll in that game. So, yeah. Thanks for coming by. Hit the like button. Leave whatever it is you want to leave. I guess I'm going to play Fallout.